Hello everybody and welcome to another slab of must-see muscle action with the 2011 World's Strongest Man. North Carolina is our venue this year and this place is absolutely rammed with interesting nooks and crannies like this one, the US National Whitewater Center. It's a fantastic place to have a splash around. Back at Wingate University though, I have to say, the numbers have been doing some rapid descending of their own. We're down to the final heat now. 6 giants are about to go neck and neck, head to head for their place in the pantheon of power. 2 can get through, 4 are going to be left up the creek without a paddle.
The lineup for the 2011 final is almost complete, and it's arguably the strongest field in the competition's 34-year history. 8 men have endured some of the toughest physical tests imaginable to earn a shot at the title of World's Strongest Man. Now, which 2 giants from qualifying Heat 5 will join them?
Well, one of the big stories of this final day of qualifying is the incredible rise of Jack McIntosh. Only a year ago, this 23-year-old Englishman was just a stagehand at this event. Now he's going up against some of the strongest men in the world, including one of the favourites for this year's title, the Connecticut police officer Derek Poundstone. Caroline Pierce is at event 1 with the strong arm of the law.
Thank you, James. Now, Derek, how are you feeling ahead of this very tough and challenging first event?
You know, Caroline, I haven't competed last year since I got injured, so this is a perfect event to sort of get the cobwebs out and sort of make sure everything's working smoothly.
Now, you had a pretty awful injury last year. You had a cracked vertebrae following South Africa. How did you recover from that and get your motivation back to continue?
Well, I didn't plan on competing, actually. I took the entire year off and just sort of took it easy, and the bug sort of bit me back in July.
Now, you did place 2nd in 2008, and do you feel in the kind of shape where you can emulate that or go one step further?
My body weight's just slightly heavier. I'm in better shape, and I'm stronger. So, but the athletes every year get stronger and faster and just more freakish. So, you know, just to get stronger every year is keeping up with the pack. So you have to do something different. So this year I got stronger and much better shape.
That's fantastic. We'll wish you every bit of luck. Thanks, Derek.
Thanks, Caroline.
Derek Poundstone begins his assault on the title at Wingate University. The campus grounds have seen some fantastic action over the last 4 days, and once again there's a full house at our first event. It's the loading race. Your commentators as ever, Colin Bryce, and first Paul Dickinson.
Well, we're starting off with an old World's Strongest Man favourite. 75 seconds, the time limit for the loading race. 4 barrels in total, 2 at 120 kilos. They've got to be loaded onto the platforms as soon as possible.
Number 1 from Australia, Derek Boyer.
Derek Boyer of Australia in his 15th year of international competition, the old campaigner.
Poland, Krzysztof Radzikowski.
Radzikowski of Poland weighs in at over 300 pounds.
From England, Jack McIntosh.
Jack McIntosh of England experiencing his very first World's Strongest Man competition.
McIntosh's stats look very good indeed. Very good all-round package, particularly impressive flexibility and endurance. Take your position!
So a big moment for McIntosh, and he absolutely sprints away ahead of Radzikowski, almost level, and in fact the pole has got the advantage now. Derek Boyer a little bit slow to get going in this first event. Radzikowski absolutely flying now, but a good performance from the Englishman.
Well, from the tests we did, Radzikowski has great explosive power. I do wonder about his endurance, though. This could be a tortoise-in-the-hare competition. McIntosh just needs to be steady.
Derek Boyer on the far side. He's only on barrel number 3. These guys are on the last one, and Jack McIntosh racing through. What a good performance for the man from the Lake District. Oh, wow. It all looked as though Radzikowski was going to win it. And he really is struggling. The lactic acid coursing through his veins now.
He's got to get his hands off it and get it loaded up right. Goodness me, Boyer can steal it. Oh, hands off there, Paul. Who was first?
Well, that's something the judges are going to have to sort out. No doubt about the winner of this first heat, though, Jack McIntosh of England. What a great start to his World's Strongest Man campaign. 43.73 the time. And Derek Boyer given 60.80. But what about Radzikowski? Exactly the same. The judges couldn't split them, so they're both tied for second at the moment.
Paul, McIntosh was very impressive. Steady throughout. and he has great endurance, as we've seen. That last one popped up without a problem.
Well, there's certainly some big men and some big names in this second heat. Blekaitis of Lithuania. And a very strong campaigner from the USA now. Derek Poundstone finished second 3 years ago in the final.
Stefan Solvi Petersen.
And continuing Iceland's great tradition, Stefan Solvi Pedersen, a giant of a man. 360-pound body weight, my goodness. Away we go. Great start by the Englishman in the first of these events, and it's Poundstone now who sprints away from everybody.
Right in the middle lane there, the world's strongest cop, as he calls himself, Poundstone, who is still a serving policeman and very fit, looking good at the moment.
Well, Solvi Pedersen, by far the biggest of these three men. In second place, Blekaitis bringing up the rear, but look at Poundstone go. Poundstone determined to make the final once more, and that is quick, 38.57. Oh, wow. And Pedersen, 44.98. Good performance by both of them. Vidas Blekaitis grimacing as he gets that fourth barrel on. He finishes to inside the minute. So third place overall is Stefan Solvi Pedersen. And Derek Poundstone wins this first event. What a cracking start to this year's World's Strongest Man. Vidas Blekaitis just finished behind Jack McIntosh in fourth place.
Maximum points for Poundstone, a valuable second place for Jack McIntosh, and a dead heat in there too, just to increase the drama. And if you thought that was good, just wait until after the break.
I think the keg toss is a signature event.
It's fast-paced and really exciting.
It's all about explosion and who has the most explosive strength.
It's quite funny watching the guys sort of throwing the first few, find it really easy. They get to the last ones and you can see their energy going.
It's a test of strength, endurance, will. It's just a really tough event.
Welcome back to World's Strongest Man, coming to you from Wingate University, home to a 2,500 strong student body and, for 1 week only, 30 elite strength athletes. Qualifying heat 5 now continues with the keg toss.
So here we go with the keg toss. A 75-second time limit. They've got to throw 8 kegs in total. And there is the weight range, finishing with 25 kilos over the bar, 4 meters high. Well, 2 men have already had their turn. Vidas Blekaitis got 4 kegs in 75 seconds, and that was the same as Derek Boyer.
Derek Poundstone.
There is the leader after the first event, enjoying himself out there.
Paul, let's take a look at his stats. Some things are exceptional, but I'm surprised his speed and his force aren't as good as you might have thought. That may cost him in this explosive event.
Well, tremendous support on the campus here for Derek. He's a very popular competitor, and that barrel went flying over. On to number 4, makes it look easy.
Well, he was saying to me before this that his legs are so muscular and not particularly long, he has trouble getting the kegs between them. But he's having no problems at the moment.
This is impressive. Can he do it first time? And he gets it. Superb by Derek Poundstone. And the shrieks coming from the crowd. Absolutely phenomenal. 28.41.
Poundstone was very quick with the first few, but then by the last one he was a little more deliberate, and I think that made sense. He got it over. Not the fastest probably, but it was good.
Iceland, Stefan Solvi Petersen.
Stefan Solvi Pedersen of Iceland, scratching his head there.
Let's take a look at his stats, Paul. He is a massive man. He doesn't have great endurance, but his force, which is basically explosive power, is very good. He'll be good at this.
Ready? He's certainly the biggest man in the arena. Wow. Lacks a bit in terms of technique. Reaches upwards, and of course, the extra advantage over somebody like Poundstone is the fact he's very much taller. certainly heavier, but does that translate into muscular strength?
Well, I've seen this man in Scotland at the Highland Games doing the 56 for height. He's great at that. He looks good at this. Oh, a mistake. And that'll cost him. Poundstone will beat him now, but he's got to take his time.
He was way ahead when he threw that keg up towards the barrier. It didn't make it, and that's what lost him this event. He's in second place, though, 33.13.
Well, Pedersen should never be in second in this event. He should have nailed all 8. He was way ahead going onto that last barrel. That's a big mistake. Let's hope it doesn't cost him a place in the final.
Next up from England, Jack McIntosh.
Well, what a cracking start to this competition it's been for England's Jack McIntosh.
Ready?
He's been tipped by many observers to be a future great strongman. Well, like so many of the competitors, they've got a heart rate monitor on. It gives us an opportunity to see the impact of these tests on their heart rate. And his is going sky high.
Well, Paul, if you're going reasonably gently on a bicycle, you might be doing 120. Full out in a rowing machine, 165, 170. So this is extreme exercise here.
Well, rather like Pedersen before him. That 25-kilogram barrel proving to be a bit of a problem. Has he got what it takes? Yes, he has. Lost a bit of time there, but 41.09. He's certainly going to score highly yet again. Currently in third place.
Well, he's just made a couple of mistakes with that last barrel, but then nailed the final hit, crawled over the bar.
Please welcome from Poland, Krzysztof Radzikowski.
Well, we've had so many great Polish strongmen in the past.
Let's take a look at Radzikowski's stats. The most impressive is force. His standing high jump, 1 meter. That's amazing for someone so heavy.
Well, judging from those statistics, this could be a good event for Radzikowski. Oh, he's just flicking them off the end of his fingers. They're absolutely flying over.
You're right, Paul. He's very quick with the light ones, but will he burn out like he did in the barrel load?
Just adjusting his grip there. He's got 1 more to go. Remember the time to beat, 28.41. It's going to be close. He's got it. 27.49. Wonderful stuff from Radzikowski. He wins the keg toss.
Well, he was starting to burn out in the end there, Paul. He really was quite deliberate over the last one. Nailed it by just a few inches.
Well, few here were expecting to see Krzysztof Radzikowski at the top of the pile after the keg toss, including the Pole himself. Despite getting all 8 kegs, meanwhile, Jack McIntosh must settle for 4th place. But the Englishman does keep hold of a share of 2nd place with Stefan Soldi Pedersen in what is a congested field behind the leader, Derek Poundstone.
It's been quite a start for Jack McIntosh, but this 430-kilogram car could bring him crashing back down to earth. The car walk will put every muscle, bone and sinew under the most extreme pain imaginable. But this is a young man who has his sights set on the highest levels of this sport.
I was this height when I was probably 15, 16, but I was overweight. Got bullied quite a bit at school. And then after school, applied for the army, and then being told I was too overweight to have a job hit me quite hard. And then I lost 5 stone in 6 months through changing my diet, cycling, and then started going to the gym from once I lost the weight. When I've been out with my girlfriend and stuff, the first couple of times I went out with her, she could tell. You walk into a bar and then everyone at the bar's just staring at you. Out of the village, through town, you always get stares, especially when you go to supermarkets or anything like that. You've got people look down aisles at you, and then look how much food you got in your trolley as well, which is usually mountains of meat and rice and pasta. Just constantly eating, I think, is the biggest thing. You sit down to have dinner somewhere and you're having double the amounts of everyone else, having protein shakes first thing as I wake up, and if I wake up in the middle of the night, having another protein shake because I'm hungry. When I first got here, I was really nervous, just a bit freaked out by it all. These are the guys you see on TV and you've watched. To meet them and talk to them, they actually settle you down quite a lot and give you a lot of encouragement. Just being new to the sport and all the effort I've put into now, it'd be a shame just to waste. It'd be nice to see another Englishman on the podium. I do like to see myself at the top, probably hopefully within the next 3 to 5 years. It'd be nice to be one of the best. Someone who recognises your name and have an achievement against your name would be a tick in my box, yeah.
Will North Carolina prove to be a happy hunting ground for the young Englishman? We're heading over to the NASCAR Hall of Fame for our next event, and it's one he's not looking forward to. Here's Colin Bryce, and first, Paul Dickinson.
Well, outside the NASCAR Hall of Fame, it's cars that are the focus of attention. This is our car walk. 450 kilos, has to be carried 25 metres in the fastest possible time. The maximum allowable time limit is 75 seconds. So Jack McIntosh not desperately looking forward to this one. It's a bit of a lottery, to be honest, but he just fills that car up so much. Getting it off the ground is one thing, but walking with it is a whole new ball game.
Well, he's got it moving. That's the start. He was extremely nervous about this. Oh, he's just gone down there, and it's hard to pick it back up again. He has got a bit of a knee injury as well, something he picked up in training just a little bit before the contest.
Well, he's just making himself steady before he sets off again on what you might call the March of Agony here. This is an incredibly hard event for McIntosh and everybody else, of course.
Well, it's not going to be high speed, that's for sure. I wonder whether he's giving up here. He is. Oh, well, the pain in his leg. How many times did he pick it up and down? About 5 or 6 there at least, and that's so hard on your legs.
Well, that's certainly not good news for Jack McIntosh because of what has happened before. Derek Boyer, the old campaigner, he finished the course in 38.94. Then came Radzikowski in second place for the time being, 28.53 seconds for the full 25 metres. And then Pedersen, who is equal second with McIntosh before this event, he finished the course in 22.79. The growling face of Blakaitis of Lithuania.
Paul, let's have a look at his stats, and I think they can be a little misleading here. He's a seasoned campaigner. I'm not sure he tried that hard in our sports science tests. His force is low, and I know it's high. Wait for this. He's a great super yoker.
Well, super yoke is certainly a similar event, and this guy has broken all sorts of world records in the past. And he starts with a very high pulse rate, and it's getting higher all the time. But he's absolutely flying here, Colin.
Goodness me, he's extremely quick. He's getting close to the finish line, and he's fast.
22.79 to beat. Oh, he's done it. 0.2 of a second faster. That is a wonderful performance for Blakaitis.
I think he could have been quicker as well there, Paul. A couple of wobbles, one about 5 metres from the line. Probably cost him a couple of seconds. Look at this. When the whistle blew, he staggered backwards a fraction as well. There went another second or two. That could have been quicker.
Welcome from the USA, Derek Poundstone.
Listen to the cheers for the American. The overall leader.
Ready?
And away we go. He's done this event in the past. And again starts off with quite a high pulse rate and rock steady at the moment.
But he was saying to me he didn't know which shoes to use. You can see how much pressure he's putting down through those soft trainers. Hope he doesn't turn his ankle here. He's going fast. Oh, goodness, showboating. No problems.
Under 20 seconds. And the heart rate was way below what we expected, but I guess that's the benefit of starting quickly.
Well, let's have a look at his feet. Look at that. His shoes being crushed with 450 kilos, and but he's happy. Look at that. A sort of smile at the end.
That looked pretty steady and controlled, Derek, and doing a little bit of a Usain Bolt by celebrating before you crossed the finish line.
Halfway through the course, I started to get really shaky, and I realized that my belt was on, but it wasn't clasped tight. You know, that's a mistake a guy like me that's been doing this for almost 10 years shouldn't be making. So, I mean, I guess it happens, but towards the end, I knew that I had a good time. The next closest time was probably 3 or 4 seconds away from me, so I wanted to celebrate a little bit. The crowd, you know, they've been out here yelling for us all day. I figured give them a little cheer myself, you know, cheer for them.
Derek Poundstone clearly feeling less generous towards his competitors. The American takes a second event win over 3 seconds ahead there of his nearest rival. And the news for Jack McIntosh is less good. He slipped all the way down to 5th after that failure in the car walk and is a long way from contention at the midway stage. But the race for the last 2 places in the finals is still incredibly tight.
Well, we're getting awfully close now to knowing the identities of our last 2 finalists in the 2011 World's Strongest Man. Ahead of the remaining competitors, there is an uncomfortable wait, or indeed more than one, because they still must face the metal block press and, even crueler than that, the car deadlift hold. Sounds easy, this one. You pick a car up and you hold it up as long as you can.
We realise that it's been a demanding year. You've worked hard and pushed yourself to your limits. So we thought it's only right that we should reward you with a little break. You could win a family trip to Florida with 7 nights in a 4-star hotel, access to a car to explore Florida's attractions, passes to Disney and SeaWorld, and £1,000 to splash. To win this fantastic holiday, just answer the following. Which famous character eats spinach for extra strength? Is it A, Homer Simpson, B, Popeye, C, Mickey Mouse? To enter, call 0904 1613 555, text Florida plus A, B or C to 80556, or post your answer, name and phone number to Florida, P.O. Box 7557, Derby, DE1 0NP. Calls cost $1.53 from a BT landline. Other networks vary. Mobiles cost considerably more. Text costs $1.50 plus standard network rate. Lines close midday 2nd of January 2012 and 3 days later for postal entries. Rules and winners, channel5.com/win.
Welcome back to the final qualifying round of World's Strongest Man 2011. The competition comes to you from North Carolina, an area containing some of the United States' most scenic shoreline, some ultra-modern skyscrapers, and the towering Appalachian Mountains. And we have some imposing sights of our own over at Wingate University, where our giant strongmen have been thrilling the crowds. Derek Poundstone is leading the way after victory in the loading race. He was second in the keg toss to the debutant Pole, Krzysztof Radzikowski. But just before the break, the American blitzed the field again in the car walk. Now, can he maintain that dominance in the agonising deadlift hold? To find out, here's Colin Bryce and Paul Dickinson.
Well, our 2 vehicles all ready for the deadlift hold. Weighing in at 370 kilos, it's the athlete who lifts the car for the longest time who wins.
The USA, Derek Poundstone.
Gritty, determined, and so strong. Leads well after 3 events.
Krzysztof Radzikowski.
And Radzikowski in 3rd place after 3 events, so he's got a bit of room to make up. There's the situation as we stand at the moment. Blakaitis, 52.43. He leads with Pedersen in 2nd place. So both men up, and now it's just a question of hanging on. The hands, the grip, so important. They're allowed to wear lifting straps. And that is going to help them, isn't it, Colin?
Oh, it will with their grip, Paul, but all the pressure now is on their shoulders and down through their lower back. You'll see they'll start to hump forward, and then they've just got to try and breathe. You don't breathe, the lactic acid will just kill you.
Well, the American on the left-hand side of the screen is puffing away like mad. Radzikowski looks... Well, he grimaces there, but he was looking more comfortable.
It's quite literally stretching their arms out here. Incredible strain on the shoulder joints.
360 kilograms they're holding. That's almost 800 pounds. And Poundstone is down. Radzikowski surely is going to move up the leaderboard after this one. 57, 58, 59. He's broken the minute barrier. That is superb. Fantastic stuff from Radzikowski. Shakes hands with a man who thought he was going to win this one. There he is. He's in third place altogether. 50.21.
It's everything.
Oh, he enjoyed that. Or he does now, anyway. Now it's finished.
Well, it's a funny one, isn't it? It's almost a mental test as much as a physical test. Radzikowski just wanted that more. Look at his face. It's written all over it. Good effort. Really impressive from the pole.
Welcome from England, Jack McIntosh.
Well, the baptism of World's Strongest Man continues for Jack McIntosh. He is a good deadlifter, though.
Australia, Derek Boyer. Yeah!
The determined face once more of Derek Boyer, but he's in last place after those first three events.
Well, this will be interesting to see just what McIntosh's core strength is like here. He's a much younger man. He's half the age of Derek Boyer. Boyer's had thousands of hours in the gym to train for this kind of event. Well, Derek Boyer there just making a few last-minute adjustments, and Jack is just trying to block out the pain. Once again, the grip so important to this event. And McIntosh looks in control at the moment. Well, we know from Jack's past, he's a determined young man. He's just got to dig in, try and find a happy place somewhere, and just hope he hangs on longer. Coming up to 40 seconds now, 20 more seconds if he wants to win this.
McIntosh is grimacing, so is Derek Boyer. 3/4 of a minute has gone. How much longer can McIntosh hang on for?
Look at his fingers, Paul. He's hanging on by fingertips now. It may well be his grip that goes here.
It's very, very close. A couple more seconds and he's got it. And Boyer is still there as well. This is amazing. From a man who's well past 40 now. What a tremendous last pairing this has been. How much longer can they hang on for?
Exceptional strain on the human body, this. McIntosh looks more comfortable, actually.
Oh, and McIntosh has won it. Boyer goes down. That's the best event for the Australian so far. Oh, McIntosh nearly fell sideways. One of those straps gave way. But what a brilliant performance. Absolutely superb for Jack McIntosh from Kendal.
Well, when you saw his grip go there, you realise how heavy it is, Paul. It just shot a 20-stone man across the pit lane here. 1 minute 29. That is legendary. Well done, McIntosh. Goodness me. Oh, we look at Boyer there. He knew he was beaten, but he was beaten by a better man. Awesome finish.
Jack, you needed a good performance after the car walk, and that was an awesome performance. What do you make of it?
It's a hard one. It's not much strength or movement, but you just got to have it in the head just to keep going, and not give up.
And your grip was starting to go. You were looking down at your hand, and you could see that your fingertips were just gripping it. How did you manage to hold on?
I felt my fingertips. I felt everything on the end of my fingertips. It started slipping after the first 30 seconds, but I just not think about it and just grip as hard as I could.
There was that first moment where you just looked calm and relaxed, like you'd gone inwards into yourself. What are you thinking about? Because this is an event that's all about mental toughness, really.
Just not thinking about that 370 kilos in my hands and just trying to think good thoughts and not where I was.
Well, wherever he was, Jack McIntosh must have liked it. What a performance there from the Englishman, taking the pain and claiming an event victory on his debut. Pedersen's hopes of qualifying have taken a serious dent, though, as McIntosh has moved into second place. Now can the man from the Lake District live with the leader of Group 5, one of the favourites for the title, Derek Poundstone?
I think the US has a huge amount of advantage because it's a hometown crowd in some ways. I've talked to some people on the street and like, okay, you're the guy to root for if it's because I'm a cop or because I'm from the East Coast or just because I'm American. I think people like a hometown sort of hero. I was a big favorite going into 2009. And a lot of talk about 2010, and this year a lot of people aren't talking about me. I like it that way. There's low expectations. I think what this year I've done different is went back to the roots of my training. I'm not heavy like I was last year or in 2009. I'm back to a more svelte body weight and a little better shape. Every year my goal for World's Strongest Man is the same. I want to win the coveted title. I've won every title in the sport thus far. The one that eludes me, and I've come very close, is World's Strongest Man.
Poundstone's challenge continues in one of his favourite events now. Back to Colin Bryce and Paul Dickinson for the details.
Well, here are the rules for this pressing competition. 90 seconds the time limit, 4 blocks to reach in total, and the biggest one of all, 150 kilos.
Welcome from England, Jack McIntosh.
Jack McIntosh in second place, continuing his good form. He's competing absolutely wonderfully. Now, here's what's happened previously. Vidas Blekaitis lifted 3 blocks, a fantastic performance in itself, but one of the fastest times we've ever seen, just over 20 seconds. Well, Jack, he's got that left knee heavily strapped, gets the first one up. I don't think he was looking forward to this competition too much.
No, he's not the world's greatest presser. It's one of his weaknesses. I don't think the knee should bother him too much here, though. You don't exactly drive it with your legs. It's more about pressing power, shoulders and triceps. He's got to get this third one up to keep him in the mix.
Well, he's already fallen behind Blekaitis, and he really is struggling with that third one. I just wonder if that left knee is giving him a problem here, Colin. And surely after 2 attempts and 2 failures, it's almost impossible to have the endurance factor to carry on, isn't it?
Well, he's still got another 25 seconds to go. He's just got to keep his cool here, get the balance point, and ram it overhead. Oh, is that a good lift?
Has he been given that?
I think he has.
He has, well done.
All he had to do was lock it out. Elbows must have straightened. And that's a solid lift from McIntosh. Let's have another look at it again. Gets it up to the shoulders. I thought he was too tired to hit it. But yes, elbows locked out just for that split second.
From Iceland, Stefan Solveig Petersen.
Well, Pedersen needs big points here if he's going to have any sort of challenge and make it through to the final. He's saying, let's have some fun. I'm not sure this is going to be fun, but here we go. He's got a massive chest, this guy.
It's got to be a 60-inch chest. He's just a beast. Now 25 years old. He's very experienced for his age. Great pressing power. Gets the balance point, rams it overhead. Oh, I think he could have held it there above his head. That was really strong.
And these rock lifting events are always the sort of events that the great Magnus Vail Magnusson, 4 times World's Strongest Man, was always so good at. So I wonder if he has had any input into the coaching of Solveig Pedersen. Well, that is 3 successful lifts by Pedersen. Not as fast as Blekaitis once more, but nevertheless good enough, I think, to move into second place for the time being.
Only one man in history has done this, and it's still one man in history. Zydrunas Savickas in a previous group did it in 1 minute and 11 seconds. Petersen has to be happy with 3. Well, that 290-pound third block powered it overhead with ease.
From Poland, Zdzisław Radzikowski.
Well, Radzikowski is proving to be a bit of a handful for the rest of the competitors, apart from Derek Poundstone, who maintains his lead. But Radzikowski is certainly putting pressure even on the American.
If you were to give him a nickname, Paul, it would be Shoulders. They are massive, like cannonballs.
They certainly are. That first one just rocketed up there. But he is having trouble. Just look at that. He threw that almost against his throat. And now he's having the problem of balance. But once he gets the balance, boy, do those shoulders work hard.
Let's see how easy this third one is. He doesn't want to waste too much time or he'll fatigue before he gets a crack at the fourth.
Well, Blekaitis is still in the lead. And he's over the time as well of Jack McIntosh. Maybe. We'll have to get that confirmed. He's going to have a go at this one, and you just think if he can get it up to his chest and get it on balance, he's got every chance of getting it above his head. And only one man has ever done that, Zaviskus, the reigning world's strongest man. But now, I think he knows when he's beaten. 40.44, and indeed, he is in third place.
He looks like he's been through a war, doesn't he? That was brutal. And look at that, right back on his throat. Goodness me, that must have been difficult to deal with. But he powered it overhead all the same.
Welcome from the USA, Derek Poundstone.
Well, if you want to see muscles, you've got them. The leader after 4 events. If you saw this guy walking down the street, you'd certainly think he was big. I'll tell you what, he's even more impressive when you see him in police uniform.
You wouldn't want to be chased by him, that's for sure.
Nice and easy, take
Now, number 2. He prefers the bare chest because the blocks stick to his chest. They don't slip around, and that's quite smart from Poundstone.
Press it up!
Well, a little bit off balance on that one. There's Kristen, his wife, supporting him, along with everybody else. Now, does he fancy his chances with the big one? 150 kilos. He's taking a good look, just sizing it up here.
Well, we've already seen one man do it. We've seen Zaviskus do 1 minute 11 in a different heat. Now, Poundstone, if he does it, he'll do it quicker. He's got to get the balance point. Goodness, he's bent double, but he's going to press it.
Equals the world record. Absolutely superb, and in an even faster time. 51.93. Wonderful stuff.
20 seconds quicker than Zaviskus. Amazing, he wasted no time at all when it was on his chest. I think he thought he might fatigue, and he just rammed it overhead.
Derek, that time has just given you the world record and just pinched it away from Zydrunas from the previous heat. Describe the effort that took. I mean, you've almost gone purple with the sort of pressure building up.
It's not so much that, I mean, we're all very, very strong athletes, obviously. There's probably 10 guys here that could easily press 150 kilos. It's more about getting in the right position. And that's what happens is when you press it, it wants to fall behind you or in front of you. So you can't apply too much pressure to it, and that's why I turn purple, is I'm trying to ease it up slowly and lock it out. It's very, very difficult, but I couldn't be happier.
Joy for Derek Poundstone, only the second man in history to lift all 4 blocks. No wonder he turned purple. Jack McIntosh's roller coaster competition form continues, though. He's down in 5th. And that significantly moves him out of the qualifying places for now. Lakaitis and Radzikowski currently the best placed men to claim that second spot in the finals alongside Derek Poundstone. It's way too tight to call, though. Anyone from 4 men can still make it through. Just half a point separates them. Just one event remains. Can Jack McIntosh round off a fantastic debut and seize a place among the world's elite? The Atlas Stones will decide.
Don't forget our fantastic competition to win a family trip to Florida with £1,000 to splash. For your chance to win, just tell us which famous character eats spinach for extra strength. Is it A, Homer Simpson, B, Popeye, C, Mickey Mouse? To enter, call 0904 1613 555. Text Florida plus A, B or C to 80556, or post your answer, name and phone number to Florida, PO Box 7557, Derby, DE10NP. Full terms and conditions at channel5.com/win.
North Carolina's Wingate University has hosted one of the most thrilling WSM qualifiers ever. Just half a point separates now the 4 men seeking the last remaining place in the final, and just one event remains. It's the Atlas Stones.
So the scene is set for what could be a dramatic finish to this heat. There's the situation in terms of the rules. 75 seconds in order to lift 5 stones with a massive 180 kilo, the final stone, to be lifted in ascending weight order onto the platforms. There is the situation, a man who's qualified for the final already, Derek Poundstone, 31.26 to lift all 5 stones. Jack McIntosh has got a chance to make it through to the final, but he's got to perform well here.
From Iceland, Stefan Solveig Petersen.
Still smiling is Stefan Solveig Petersen. He's tied for 4th place after 5 events, and that is the current situation as far as points is concerned. Derek Poundstone, as we said, qualified for the final already, but only half a point between Blakaitis, Radzikowski, and of course Jack McIntosh and Pedersen. So here we go. Well, we know he lacks experience, the man on the left, but what sort of chance has he got against this giant Icelander?
Well, that's exactly right, Paul. He's just a massive man, Stefan Solvi, and very quick too. McIntosh carrying that knee injury. He's starting to fall behind, but it's all down to the final stone.
180 kilos, almost 400 pounds, and Pedersen drops it. Can McIntosh take an advantage here? No, he can't. Stefan Solvi has to wait and see now. We've still got more great competitors to come. And all of the effort of this young man has come to naught. But Stefan Solvi Pedersen, 29.72. He goes into the lead ahead of Derek Poundstone. And 24.19 confirmed for Jack, but only 4 stones lifted. Great effort by the Englishman, though.
Yeah, it really was, Paul. He tried his best. I think his knee injury just got the better of him. And in the end, he was beaten by a better man.
Probably a little disappointment not to get that last stone up. Did you have a little injury with the knee or a pain in your knee?
Just had a bit of a pain in my knee, so I just thought, let the best man win, so there's always next year.
What will you go away and do now, and what can you bring back next year?
I'll get some rest, get my knee sorted, and then come back stronger next year, hopefully.
From Poland, Krzysztof Radzikowski.
Radzikowski, the Pole. This is so tense. Both of these men have got a chance of going through. Blakaitis of Lithuania, such a powerful, explosive athlete. And of course, you've got Pedersen of Iceland waiting in the wings, the current leader on 29.72.
Paul, you know, the last time Blakaitis was in the World's Strongest Man contest, 03, and he failed to get through the finals when he dropped the stone on his face, the first one. He's not a tall man. Oh, he's passed the first hurdle. That'll be a big relief to him.
And of course, the plinths get lower as time goes on, but also these giant concrete balls get heavier. They're neck and neck with 2 stones to go.
Well, Radzikowski's now gone into the lead. Blakaitis has slowed down, and it's the lower platforms. I'm really surprised.
And Pedersen thinks he's made it. He got all 5 in 29 seconds, and he's screaming away in the background. Radzikowski almost looking disgustedly over at the Icelander, and Blakaitis has dropped that. It's all gone wrong for these two. Derek Poundstone, we know, is through to the final, and it looks as though Iceland will once again have somebody from their nation through to World's Strongest Man final. So all eyes on Stefan Solvi Pedersen at the moment. Blakaitis finishes with 4 stones in 27.8. Pretty good performance, nevertheless.
Well, by this point, we knew Stefan Solvi had won it. Radzikowski gets hit with some cramp. So it doesn't matter.
Well, he may have got hit with cramp. Just thank goodness he didn't get hit with one of those big stones.
Stefan, your second World's Strongest Man final. How are you feeling?
I'm so happy, I'm so relieved, because I dug myself quite a hole there, and I'm so happy that Little Iceland has 2 representatives in the final. I'm so proud. I'm also very happy for Jack McIntosh, who did such a good job for England. He's the future for England. I'm telling you, he did a great job.
And you were 4th in last year's final, so a podium position must be within your sights now.
You try to improve every year, so of course my next goal would be to step on the podium. That's a big task, and I think I'm up for it. I will fight like the craziest Viking you've ever seen.
And we've seen quite a few of those over the years on World's Strongest Man. Pedersen holding his nerve then to join Derek Poundstone as the only man to lift all 5 Atlas stones. He'll also accompany the American into the final. The scoreboard there doesn't show what an incredible qualifier this was. And many congratulations must also go to the 3 men who pushed Pedersen so close. Well, congratulations then to our 10 finalists after some of the most exciting qualifiers we've ever had. Now all that remains to be done is discover which of these man mountains of muscle will be claiming the ultimate prize, and that
is what's coming up in our final programme. Make sure you tune in then for the ultimate tussle of muscle. That's it for today's show. You'll come back now.
That showdown is tomorrow night at 7 on Channel 5. More impressive power next this New Year's Eve on Channel 5. The power of the mind as names like Paul Daniels, Derren Brown and Penn and Teller perform television's 50 greatest magic tricks. Each one of them an absolute corker. Stay with us.